There she was, fading before his eyes. Tinkerbell drank poison and was now losing her light. There was a way to save her, though. We just needed to believe. Clap your hands, they asked. Clap if you believe in fairies. And as the sounds of clapping grew into a thunderous roar, a public declaration that each one does in fact believe, Tinkerbell was healed, was brought back to full strength, our faith having saved her. And all we needed to do was be open to the possibility of the miraculous. Why am I beginning with Peter Pan? Well, this is the very thing Hanukkah asks of us as well, to be open to the miraculous. The story is that long ago, a small, dedicated group of people stood up for what they believed in and helped Jewish tradition to survive. The Maccabees fought and miraculously won, and as if their unexpected victory was not enough to celebrate, there was an additional miracle of the oil lasting. It lasted for 8 days until there was time to make more, so the light never went out. Almost like magic, almost like the bush that burned but didn't burn up. The oil burned but was not consumed. It kept going, and so do we. For centuries now, Jews and those who love us have gathered around special holiday lamps created to commemorate this miracle. We light them as an act of declaration, like clapping our hands loudly for Tink, or like the Cowardly Lion's faithful repetition, we light the menorah to say, we do believe in miracles, we do believe, we do. Not only does Hanukkah teach us to believe in the miraculous, but it challenges us to tell the world that we do. We are taught to put these burning affirmations of our faith in our windows in order to publicize these miracles, to affirm to the world that our trust is in God. And yet so many of us today aren't exactly sure about who or what God is and how God might or might not interact with our lives. Yet we still light the menorah, which itself symbolizes that some things in life are unexplainable, that magic and miracles are possible, that belief can power our world. While there is a lot of room in Judaism and Jewish practice for a variety of understandings about the source of energy that powers the world, this particular holiday seems to ask for us to show faith that many of us do not actually have. And yet we light the menorah anyway. The Chanukah, as it's called. From generation to generation, this tradition persists, arguably lasting way longer than it should have, much longer than its message spoke to the majority of our people. Like the oil itself from our holiday story that unexplainably lasted much longer than it should have, this tradition continues to thrive. And this, too, I believe, is a miracle. Yes, the celebration of Hanukkah is in itself a miracle, for the holiday challenges us not simply to believe, but to publicly identify ourselves as part of the Jewish community. By letting the candles burn in our window, we open ourselves and our home to the public, to the Christian monopoly, to all those who may see us as other and who may not celebrate our religious differences. This reality was captured in an eerie photograph that's been circulating the internet this holiday season. The picture is from Germany in 1932. From the inside of a home, you see the menorah standing tall on the windowsill. And through the window across the street, a large Nazi flag flies. The image makes you hold your breath for a second as you take in the juxtaposition of these two symbols. The strength of the photograph is further heightened when we read that on the back of the picture, scribbled in German, is the statement, "Death to Judah," so the flag says, "but Judah will live forever," so the light answers. And here, this menorah, this symbol of Jewish resilience, reminds us how miraculous it truly is that our people continue to light these holiday lights. The picture challenges our tradition's teaching that in times of danger, we don't need to put a menorah in our window because we do not need to put ourselves at risk. Like everything in Judaism, this exception is argued and debated in nuance. This year, on the CCAR Facebook page, the group where Reform rabbis privately talk and chat on Facebook together, this debate was reawakened. My colleagues re-examined this rule and its ramifications for today, and many argued that it teaches that if we are fearful of the repercussions of putting our menorah in the window, then we can light it privately. We're not required to make a public declaration of our Jewish identity and beliefs, not when we're scared. For some, especially those in small towns across America, this footnote on our tradition became widely taught this year as anti-Semitism in America continues to grow in both number and severity of incidents and attacks. Yet others argue that it is precisely in moments like these that it is most important to put our menorah in the window, to light and proclaim our identity and our faith, to be courageous, like the families whose menorah was pictured across the street from the symbol of hate, to declare that now more than ever we recognize Jewish existence is itself miraculous. If you couldn't tell by my getup, I fall in the second group, which says now is the time to light up our world with menorahs and dreidels and everything and anything that shows that the world, that we are here and we are proud of being Jewish, that whether or not we believe theologically in the assumptions of the menorah, we light it and we create our own miracle as we celebrate and perpetuate our stories and traditions. Rabbi Stacy Friedman taught, anti-Semites don't get to define us. We do. And the greatest threat for American Jews would be to lose sight of the breathtaking power, the wisdom, and the redemptive hope inherent in Judaism. We define ourselves by the depth of our prayers and the righteousness of our deeds. And I add that we define ourselves by our practice, by our choices, and by our courage. And therefore argue that the best thing we can do is embrace who we are. Though it's true we live in a reality where we must be vigilant, we cannot let fear guide our choices. If anti-Semitism hopes to erode Jewish self-confidence, then we must respond with a stronger showing of hope than ever we have before. As J.A. Shedd noted, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. To refrain from publicly lighting a menorah may be safe, but it's not what the menorah was built for. It was built to boldly and courageously declare who we are and what we believe. In essence, it reverts back to its original symbolism as a declaration of faith that wondrous, unlikely, and unexplainable things can happen in this world. But that's no longer simply a reference to ancient oil or a battle long ago. It's proclaiming that being here tonight is miraculous. Our choices to live and celebrate our traditions are miraculous. And once again, we light our candles as an act, as a declaration, like the clapping of our hands, which loudly woke Tink, like the Cowardly Lion's faithful repetition. We light the menorah to say we do believe in Jewish life. We do believe. We do. And we are here and we are proud and forever will continue to be. And that is something worth applauding. Happy Hanukkah. Shabbat Shalom.